analista, trabajo aquí en Pacific University en el departamento de Campus Public Safety. Soy el uno de 4, tengo un gemelo y somos el first generation. Por eso yo y mi hermano nacimos en Portland, pero mis padres vinieron de México, Tehuacán. Empezaron como todos, no todos, pero muchos se van en el field y todo eso, y luego vivimos en North Plains por un rato, y luego era como cuando tuve 4 años, algo así, nos mudamos aquí a Forest Grove, y aquí fui a las escuelas como Tom Hall, Joseph Gale, Neil Armstrong, el Forest High School, y luego tengo un bachelor's en Criminal Justice y estoy pensando de dar otro bachelor's aquí por Pacific University, pero va a ser hasta el año que viene. Lo que yo veo es que es normal, como no sé cómo es otra forma, como yo nací así, obvio hablando español y todo eso en mi casa, pero inglés en la escuela y trabajo y todo eso. Sé que tengo un amigo que nació en México y vino aquí cuando era chiquito, nos conocimos en el 7 grado, ¿sí? Algo así. Y luego cada vez que nos juntamos y hablamos y todo eso, a veces pasan historias que para él era más diferente creciendo en México contra aquí cuando vino. Entonces, como él no fue a la escuela cuando era bien chiquito, empezó a trabajar y trabajo con sus padres y todo eso. Y luego yo, pues no sé si muchos han trabajado, pero piscando mora o eso. Pero así es como éramos. Eso era cuando éramos más chiquitos, como 12 años menor. Y luego después, tuvimos escuela y otras cosas como al fin cuando llegó aquí, luego todo cambió para él. Como me dice que a veces como allá si los padres pueden, te mandan a la escuela, pero si no, pues empiezan a trabajar. Y aquí obvio es diferente. Y aquí todos crecen y van a la escuela cuando son chiquitos y van del kinder hasta 12 por lo menos. Pues los dos nacieron en Oaxaca y mi papá vino primero cuando tuvo 20 años. Creo que 20 años. Y luego mi mamá un año después. Yo pienso que 2 años después nos nacimos. Pero no me acuerdo cómo cruzaron. No sé si era por la frontera o por ¿cómo se llama? El río. Pero casi me han dicho antes mucho tiempo, hace muchos años, pero se me olvida. Ya no se ponen de viejito. Pienso que también es no tan diferente. Un poquito, pero no tanto. Como dices, un feeling de ¿cómo se llama? Feeling that you belong. Pienso que no es un lugar, pero la gente con quien estás. Como yo y mi hermano, mi twin brother, we're very close. So like if we're like when we travel to all these other places like the national parks and do round, it's like I don't think about like, oh, when I come home. It's like we could be out on the road for 10 days or a year and it wouldn't really matter because I have my brother who's one of the closest to me. So like when we're here in the US, obviously I have family here, but when I go to Mexico, I have family there, so I don't feel like I don't belong. Even when we're traveling to different new cities, new places, it's not like I'm nervous or I'm scared. I mean, obviously if I'm traveling and I'm looking at my artillery or my schedule, like I gotta be here for the plane stuff, that's a little bit different. But I think a feeling the belonging isn't like a place. It's like a group of people So if we don't include like immediate family, right? Well, I mean some, but not all. So so I know some friends that that were around the same age, but they didn't have to go through the whole like picking berries and green beans and strawberries, all that. They went to like summer school or other stuff. Yeah, it's different because even though we're first gen, so my parents coming here, and then we're first generation American. It could vary. Our whole like bringing up of like as little ones. So it's interesting sometimes. So because you can say 100% American, but what is that? There's no checklist of X, Y, Z. You got to do this to be American. It's how they always use the term melting pot. It's more obviously I don't know if you've heard it before. So like America's like a melting pot. Everybody comes in and it's like a big soup looking thing, kind of like everybody brings their own experiences, their own traditions, but it's more like I've heard it before. Somebody say it and it made more sense, but like a salad, because we don't melt. We bring something from other places or other countries or traditions, and it just all kind of blends in. So like Dia de los Muertos, before obviously they probably didn't know what it was, but now a lot of people know that, or Cinco de Mayo, they probably think it's about winning a war when it was a battle. Just everybody just bring their own, and depending on where you're at, the country obviously, you could also celebrate if you want, but you don't have to, but you can. It's there if you want to. If you don't, then that's your choice. If there's I'm not gonna lie, there's still racism in the country, especially in some places more than others. But during the whole time that me and my brother and my friends have traveled, I've never felt being segregated, I guess, or felt like just because of the color of his skin, it's something else. So I don't know how that, if that makes sense. So it's I think it depends on where you're at and experiences and who you're with, if that makes sense. I got lucky. That's pretty much it. I was raised with really good friends, both from same ethnicity and other ethnicities. So I just got lucky, I guess. So when we went to Mexico in, I think it was like 2001, 2002, maybe a little bit earlier. And I remember going to because we were building our home down there. So we were there about 6 months, maybe a little bit less. And I felt, when we went there, first of all, there's how there's the schools that obviously you still have to pay for and stuff like that, but then there's private schools. So my parents tried to get me into the school where my cousins went, because it was literally down the street and right there, and I'd be with my family and stuff, and we go to school together. But at first they said no, but at the time I didn't know why. But you're little, so they put me in a different school, and it was a private school. It was like a Catholic school. So había monjas y todo eso. And so yeah, it felt a little different there. I felt a little bit different, if that's from earlier. So it took a while to get that feeling of belonging in there. But then I found out later, because at first they told me, they just didn't have enough room for you in school. But then I found out later that it wasn't that. It's because they saw me as an outcast, like somebody not belonging with them, if that makes sense. So I didn't find that out until recently. Because again, me and Nestor, we were talking about schools and stuff, and then he brought that up. He's like, that's weird, because they take everybody in. I'm like, yeah. So then I called my mom and I'm like, hey, was there, do you remember back in the day when you went? She's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, how come I didn't go with my cousins? And they're like, well, I'll be honest with you, it's because you weren't born there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I mean, that's years and years, ago. They weren't mean or anything like that. They were accepting, but it was just it took a while for me and my brother to be like, all right, this will be for a while, But at the very beginning, it felt off. It's some way. It's kind of hard to explain. It's because they were very welcoming, but at the same time, it just felt off. Like it wasn't. I don't know. It was it's a little confusing. I bought probably a big wall, like a China wall. That could be a border. But for the U.S., obviously we have two borders. We have Mexico and then we have Canada. So it's just basically where one place begins and the other one ends, or if you flip it, it's the other way. It's just a line saying, "Hey, this is Mexico, this is USA, this is Canada." It is what it is. They're there for. Obviously, they're just lines that somebody drew on the map saying, "Hey, this is Mexico and this is US," and obviously that's changed over the years from the past. Some places got bigger, some places got smaller, but I don't know. It's always changing. So right now, borders are really just imaginary lines, I guess.
Imaginary lines.
On just on a map that somebody said, "This is ours, this is yours," and when we drive through or when we pull on, you can see that thing. There was a couple of times where we were camping and somehow we were driving right by it. Not by it, but we could see it a couple miles away. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm like, all right, cool.